Our next speaker carries both a stethoscope and a solution. A trained medical doctor and a respected autism professional, she's helping families move from fear to clarity, one breakthrough at a time. Dr. Lola Okeowo, fondly known as Dr. Lola, is the founder of Autism Renewed, a pioneering online consulting practice dedicated to helping children overcome speech delays, autism-related challenges, and developmental roadblocks through evidence-based, parent-empowered interventions. Her mission is simple but revolutionary: equip parents with the tools, confidence, and strategies to turn small wins into life-changing progress. With years of specialized knowledge in language development, nutrition, and behavioral management, Dr. Lola designed a highly acclaimed Milestone Acceleration Program, a step-by-step training system that empowers parents to support their children in mastering speech, language, social interaction, and emotional regulation. She is also the convener of the Autism Renewed Conference, an annual gathering that draws parents, caregivers, and educators into vital conversations through neurodiversity, early intervention, and parental empowerment. Her practical science-backed approach has shifted countless families from frustration to growth. Dr. Lola believes deeply that a well-informed and equipped parent gives their child the parenting advantage, and she is committed to putting power back into the hands of those who need it most. Mothers and fathers navigating developmental delays with courage and uncertainty. Through coaching, online programs, and strategic resources, she has helped many families move their children from little or no words to language explosion, unlocking not just speech, but potential. At TIP 2025, Dr. Lola brings a voice of wisdom, a heart for children, and a passion for seeing families thrive regardless of diagnosis. Please join me in welcoming a voice of clarity for the misunderstood and a champion of breakthrough for families around the world, Dr. Omolola.
And yes, roll the drums. Of course, the red carpet is already on.
Welcome.
Hello, everyone.
The season of life coach. Welcome, ma'am. Good to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Goldie. Thank you, Lufunke. It's such an honor to be here. Thank you very much. I can go ahead. Okay. It's good morning here from Australia, but whatever part of the world you are joining me, it's afternoon, morning. I want to say hello to everyone. I want to appreciate the privilege and the platform to be here once again. I do not take it for granted. I celebrate my coach and my mentor, Coach Wendy Oluge. Thank you, Coach, for the privilege of access. Thank you for platform. I really appreciate you. I do not take this for granted. I celebrate the whole TIP team. I want to celebrate all the yadas. Yes, yadas in the house. Let me see your fire emojis. Sorry if you are not a yada. Why now? Where are you? Come and join us in the yard. I appreciate all the coaches. Goldie, my ornament sister. We've been doing life with Coach Wendy for about 7 years now. Proudly at Ancient Yada. Yes, so. And I want to celebrate cohort 1F. That's my cohort. Sorry, I'm partial, but I celebrate my cohort. Lastly, I want to celebrate my own marriage counselor extraordinary, the governor, Coach Kunle Ologe. If you are not in the Marriage Seal Academy's Couples Conclave, where are you now? So I'm proudly a conclaver. Thank you, sir. I honor you. I appreciate you. Thank you for being a blessing to my marriage and my family. I know you understand what I'm talking about, sir. Thank you so much. So today, let's get on to it. I celebrate and I honor all the speakers. I haven't even listened to the sessions, but I'll go back and listen because I'm a speaker and I'm also a student. I'm here to learn, unlearn, and relearn. So today, team, let's go. We're going to be talking about parenting with kingdom vision. I see everyone in the comments and I celebrate everyone. I'm sorry, I cannot name everybody. Coach Wendy, yes, that's my coach and mentor. Thank you very much. My honor, and I celebrate you, ma. Thank you. So we're talking about parenting with kingdom vision. There's a lot to unpack today. I'm going to try because I know I have very limited time. But I believe that we're really going to be blessed and take a lot from these sessions. If you have questions, note them down. I'm hoping I can take questions. If not, we'll find another time to answer the question. So the aim of this session is to ignite vision, shift perspective, and equip parents to raise children with kingdom impact in mind. Let's go, team. As an outline, we look at introduction, understanding kingdom vision, 3 shifts for parenting with kingdom vision, how to parent with kingdom vision, and we conclude. Next slide. Hey, the governor is here. Good evening, sir. You're welcome, sir. So as a way of introduction, many parents operate in survival mode. just trying to get by. But kingdom parenting calls us higher to raise children with a vision of eternal purpose, legacy, and influence. Let's go, team. The call of kingdom parenting. So ask yourself, are you parenting for the moment or for the mandate? Let's go, team. Are you parenting for the moment or the mandate? Are you parenting for the now or for the future? What is vision? Vision is seeing the future before it comes into being. It's the ability to see farther than your eyes can look. Then when we talk about kingdom vision, that future that we are talking about, that father we are talking about is what God has planned, what God has ordained. In this case, we're talking about parenting. So what God has ordained and planned for your child, that vision, not your own wishes, not your ideology. Let's go, team. What God has ordained. Because remember, all of us, before God formed us, God had something in mind. That's why Coach Wendy would say, when you say parenting doesn't have a manual, how to parent and a child doesn't have a manual. God cannot create something without having something in mind. Remember, I love how Coach Wendy will say it. You are not parenting babies, you're raising adults. So your 2-year-old is going to be 25 one day, it's going to be 40 one day. What does it mean to parent with kingdom vision? It means to parent your child to arrive at the future that God has ordained and planned for them so that they can become who God has ordained them to be. Let's go. Not who you desire that they should be. Let's talk about survival and significance. Survival just means you are feeding, they are going to school, you are keeping them out of trouble, you are raising obedient children, aka foolish virgins. Significance has to do with fulfillment, preparing them as arrows for kingdom assignments. The Bible says children are the arrow in hand of a mighty man. So you know an arrow, the distance to which an arrow would hit its target or should depend on that mighty man. So as a parent, you are the one that's supposed to shoot those children as arrows to that destination that God has ordained for them. Let's go, team. When we talk about impact, we're talking about, because the theme of this conference is the King's mandate, impact, influence, inheritance. You are influencing beyond your home. We're talking about influence. You are shaping minds and the hearts to represent the king. I mean, talking about raising your children to be of influence. Inheritance, passing godly values. You are on an assignment. You have the correct identity. Even when it comes to inheritance, we are talking about legacy. Let's go, team. I'm just setting some ground concepts so that as we proceed, we are able to conceptualize and understand the perspective from which I'm coming from. Let's talk about some shifts for parenting with kingdom vision. You have to move from fear-based to faith-filled parenting. Survival mode is rooted in fear. You know, the cares of those world, living in the moment, keeping up with the Joneses. This is what is reigning now. This is what everybody is doing. When it comes to career, when it comes to marriage, even when it comes to parenting, this is the school their children are going to. Survival mode. Japa syndrome. This is the country everybody is going. Even when you go to a particular country, this is the state. Your why, your clarity, your vision is not there. So survival mode is rooted in that fear, societal pressures. You know, I was telling someone that it is not only teenagers that undergo pressure. We undergo pressure all through our lives. Yes. When you leave being a teenager, you enter the uni, there's the pressure for everyone to pass the particular course. When you graduate, there's a pressure. Oh, my mates have a job. I haven't gotten a job in 6 months, in 1 year. Oh, later, my mates are getting married. Me, I don't have any suitor. Later, you get married. Oh, my mates have 3 children. I have just 1. We are raising children. There's pressure. This person's child is getting first class. My own child is not doing well. This person is taking their child to this school. Me, I cannot afford that school. See, pressure. They are doing, this one is doing birthday for their children, for their child. They are doing photo shoot. They are doing mini-me. Me too, I want to do the same thing. Oh, bone straight hair is winning now. It's raining now. I need to get it. All those things are pressures. And they are all about survival mode. Even when it comes to your career, when you graduate, you now go and do your master's. That's everybody. Go and do your master's. When you now come back, you now work in oil company or WHO for those in the health sector. It's just survival mode. Significance is rooted in faith in God's promises, in the vision that God has for you and God has for your child, not keeping up with the Joneses. Let's go, Tim. So survival is so another shift is you have to move up behavior management, trying to like manage your children, trying to shape them into a particular thing. Just behave. You want them to be good children. You want them to just be obedient children. You have to shift to skill building. Skill building is what ensures, is when we're talking about significance, we're talking about transformation. And in order to lead to that transformation, it entails skill building. We're going to look at some different skills that we need to build when we're talking about parenting according to the to the kingdom vision. We're talking about moving from survival to significance. Even the Bible says that be not conformed to this world, be ye transformed by the renewal of your mind. You see, that transforming process, it's a building process. It's a making process. There's a doing process that leads to that transformation, that leads to the significance we are talking about in parenting according to the kingdom vision. Let's go, team. The third shift is from earthly success to eternal legacy. Are you parenting just for the earth? Or are you parenting with eternity in mind? The goal is not just grades, sports, fame, social media. The goal is character, calling, purpose, kingdom impact. That's what we're talking about, legacy. Because that kingdom impact are things that will outlive you, are things that put your name on the sands of time. So instead of looking for your children to be your legacy, to perpetuate your name, what you do for yourself, what you train your children to do for themselves is what puts their names in the sands of time, not them looking for one child to perpetuate their legacy. You are your own legacy. Your child is their own legacy. That's why they have their own vision. They are on their own journey. God has a script for their life. God has a script for your life, and for each of your children, different scripts. What will your children be known for that is of eternal relevance? I was telling someone, a lot of the things that we are chasing, grades, school, ask yourself, in 10 years' time, would a lot of these things, would they matter? I have a book titled Nurturing Beyond Academics. And in that book, I talk about the importance of not just focusing on school and grades, but nurturing with the future in mind, nurturing with eternal relevance, and focusing on the things that would matter in years to come. Let's go, team. So how do you parent with kingdom vision? Number one is that we need to go back to the basics. Yes. What's God's plan for my child? You need to ask yourself. When I'm talking about your child, if you have 4 children, each child now, because remember, each child is a destiny. Each child is a nation. Each child has their own script. What is God's plan for my child? Ask yourself. I'm also asking myself because I'm also a parent and I'm also on a journey. Who am I parenting? Now let's get the foundations right. Next slide, team. I want to share some concepts and some things that God laid on my heart to share in this session. When I talk about going back to the basics, I want you to sit down as a parent. Remember when you got pregnant, or you conceived, or God gave you that child, or God told you you're having a child. What were the dreams? Not just the dreams that you had. What were the things God told you? What were the communications? Some of us, maybe you have never even done that before. Because the ideal thing is, remember in the Bible, when Samuel, the angel came, there were instructions. There are instructions. As basic as, let's go back to how you named your child. What informed the name you gave your child? Some of us just went on social media, the name that is raining. I'm sure if you notice, there are different seasons that you know. I won't mention names, but there are certain names that you see that name is just raining everywhere. Or you have one public figure that you just admire and you give your child that name. Or your grandma, your grandpa, just look for one name and you just give your child. Because see, the name of a child should depict the destiny of that child, should depict the vision that God has for that child, the future in mind. Most of us even do what we call circumstantial name. Means maybe you had a difficult labor or pregnancy. God now gave you victory. You just name the child Victory. Ideally, you shouldn't name a child according to the circumstance. You should name a child according to the future. Because remember, a name is something they call you all the time. They call you, you're going to call that name, call it, and call it for years. Words are spirits. Words cast on people. So how did you name your child? What informed the name? Remember, most of us now will gather names from everywhere. Everybody will send names. You just have that 15, 20 names. Ask yourself, everybody that gets view a name, where did they get that name from? No, you might say it is in our culture and everything. It's not everything. So let me say something. There's something between cultural practice and cultural values. There are a lot of practices in our culture. The intention was to portray a particular value, but that practice may be a wrong practice. So as we journey, we must maintain cultural value, but we may need to change some practices. So when you talk about value, what is the why of that thing? If it does not align with what God has ordained for you or your child, you change that practice, but you can maintain the value. So some of these things of gathering names, you just gather a name everywhere and that's a naming your child. You don't know where those names come from. Are those people aware of the destiny of your child? I made some of those mistakes too when I started my parenting journey. But by the time I had my second child, my husband and I, thank God, we had more knowledge. So we didn't do that. Except someone that we know has a clue of the destiny of our child. We are not going to take a name from you, because you can't just wake up and just come up with a name. If you don't have a picture of the destiny of my child, if God has not communicated about the destiny of that child to you, then where are you generating name or whatever you're giving about my child? That is going back to the basics. Some of us have never sat down to seek God about the destiny of our children. I'm not talking about praying. I'm talking about seeking. There are some practical things I'm going to be sharing with us today. Whether your child is 10, is 20, you need to go back to the basics, because the truth is that some of the struggles we are having on our journey with some of our children is because we have no clue about their destiny. So we are not equipped to shepherd them for that future because we have no clue. Every of your children, if you don't have, go and get a book or a journal, and you're going to go and seek God about each child. Let me ask you, if your child comes to you today and asks you, Mommy, what has God told you about me? I'm not talking about what one prophet said somewhere when you were pregnant, that this child is going to be great. What somebody said, somebody had one. You, the parent. God owes us as parents divine communication over the seed he has given us. He is the manufacturer, owns them. We are caretakers, so he owes us communication. But have we sat down to seek? Ideally, when you're pregnant, you're 9 months. I know some of us here, we still have children. Some of us are not married. Your 9 months is the seeking period. You get a book. That's why these scriptures, I put them there. Habakkuk 2 verse 2, it says, I will stand upon my watch and set upon the tower, and I will watch to see what he will say unto me. I will watch. That means there's a waiting, there's a seeking, waiting to hear. And what I shall answer when I am reproved. Verse 2 says, and the Lord answered me and said, write the vision. So he was sitting, waiting. We're talking about parenting with kingdom vision. How do you get the vision? You're going to set time and stand upon your watch. You're going to wait to see. You are watching, you are waiting, you are seeking what he's going to say to you about each child. And you're going to write it, that vision, make it plain. So that's why you're going to write a book, that you may begin to run with it, because running is your journey and parenting. So what are you running with as a parent for your children if you don't have any vision or template? If you don't have any instruction, you don't have any future that has been communicated to you. So the journey, how are we running? How are we navigating? Let's go, Steam. The next slide, it says, so talking about watching, who is a watchman? As parents, we are watchmen. As a parent, you are a watchman. The Bible says, if the watchman see the sword come and he blew not a trumpet, that means he saw some danger coming. He did not raise an alarm, and the people be not warned. If the sword should come and take any person from amongst them, he is taken away in iniquity, but his blood will I require at the watchman's hands. So he says, oh son of man, oh parent, I have set thee a watchman unto your own house, unto your children. Therefore, you must hear the word at my mouth, the word I am going to say to you, and you're going to warn them from me. So you're going to get the word from me. You are the watchman that you're going to run with and prevent your children from iniquity and from danger. As I say, I've set watchmen upon my walls, O parents. We shall never hold your peace day nor night. Not holding your peace. I'm not saying that you are praying, you are crying. No, you are not sitting. Coach Wendy will say parenting is war. You are doing the work. You are not just at rest. Woe to you who is at ease. You may make mention of the Lord. Keep not silent. Last one, son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto your own house, unto your children. So therefore, hear the word at my mouth, because the word at my mouth is what gives you the vision and the clarity. Let's go, team. So back to basics, practical strategies. As I said, go and get a book. Preferably, if you have each child is a destiny. Go and seek. Go back to basics. What has God communicated to you? See, what I'm telling you about this book, your child must grow up and you should be able to hand over a book to your child and say, these are the communications I've had for the past 10, 15 years. I have been standing for you. These are the communication of the things that God has said about you, your vision, your destiny. The child can begin from that. See, that's why a lot of us, our starting point was low. So imagine a child having such a starting point. The journey is different. That is what Coach Wendy calls a parenting advantage. Your starting point is higher. So go back to that strategy. I'm not talking about praying. I'm talking about seeking. Holiday is coming for most of us. Australia, and we just finished holiday. There's no holiday period. You shouldn't have. Even I've talked about basics now. We'll still talk about as you journey. I'm talking about seeking, spending time. You seek 1 week. It's not the day your children are going to school. That morning, you're now praying, I bind, I lose. You are too late. Your child is going to secondary school next year. You have 1 year advance. 2 years time, you have 2 years advance notice. These are the times. So by the time you already have that vision, as your child journey, let's go, team. The next thing I'm going to talk about. Let's go, team. I'll go on to it later. Your child journeys, that template will help you. Number 2, I talked about establishing a family value system. God has placed a child in a family to have a system that would guide that child to achieve that destiny. What's God planned for your family? If you're in inner circle, I'm sure you've heard about family vision, mission, and things like that. If you're not in inner circle, some of these things may be strange. You can go and get this book from the inner circle. It's a guide actually, but I got my own. I got the hard copy, the family value guide. They have a soft copy, but I decided to get my own from Amazon and I printed the family value guide. So what is the vision for your family? Because Coach Wendy will say your environment can be bigger than the value system. So you can't just be wishing. God has given that child a vision, but there must be a system in that family that will enable that vision to thrive and come to fusion. That's where your family vision, mission, your core values, let's go team, that's where they come into play. If you're in the inner circle, I'm sure if you're not in inner circle, just go and join inner circle. This is the first thing you do in December. So I don't have time to go into details. Let's go. Then understanding the different seasons in your child's life. I talked about the basics. You have clarity. When you have those foundations, it doesn't mean that's the only time you are seeking God. Ideally, you should have a structured plan where there's a constant seeking of God as your children's journey. If it's 1 day in a week, if it's 1 weekend in a month, there are times you are setting apart consistently. It's not that God told you when you are going to have the child. Some of us, God has spoken things to us. So ask yourself, the things God told you that time, what have you done with them? Where did you put them? How have you journeyed? Have you journeyed in alignment? Some of us need to retrace our steps. Some of the struggles our children are having, if you are honest with yourself, you know that you deviated from the plan. You need to repent and retrace. So as our children are journeying, you need to understand the different seasons. Focus on the things that should matter in each season. Don't focus on keeping up with the Joneses. If you have a newborn toddler, things like connection, social, emotional attachment, inner circle will teach you this. I don't have time to go into most of these details. The things that will matter, not putting your 9-month-old to start school. Your 1 year, my 1 year old has started school. Those things are not the relevant things to focus on. My 1 year old can read 1 to 100. It's not a proof of advanced intelligence. It's misplaced priority. Younger children need to build social and emotional skills, not counting 1 to 100. I know some of us will not like some of these things. We talk about the concept of crash. Oh, what are they saying? We are working. It's not a thing to judge us. It's not a thing to say go and resign. It's a thing to begin to reflect, realign our journey to ensure that the vision God has appointed for our children, we are equipped to help them navigate to arrive at it. Preteens and teens build skills, character development. Some of these things, there's no time to break it down. An inner circle, that's what we are doing there. We are learning how to build skills. We are learning how to understand seasons of life and what we should be focusing on. Mind what will matter now. You cannot parent in retrospect. Some of us know at 15, you cannot rewind. You know some of the struggles your child is having. You know it's because you didn't get it right on time. This is no time to play games. Because of them I'm working. And I know what I'm going through. I am suffering. They are not doing it right. Are you doing it in alignment with what God will have them do per season? So every season, let's go, team. You need to understand, because you have a template. You have a vision and a script. So and that script will follow different seasons. Let's go, team. So what should matter in each season? Let's go, team. You need to focus on it. Practical strategies. I talked about seasons. So for each season, you still keep seeking God. I'm not saying just pray. Prayer is part of it, but seeking is different from praying. I'm praying for these children as they go to school today. Nothing bad will happen. God just help me to pick the right school. That's not what I'm talking about. Seeking is seek God's mind. So I give you practical examples. You have a child. See, there are different seasons. We can classify seasons according to toddler, preteens, teenagers, adults. We can classify seasons: primary school, secondary school, university. We can also classify seasons 0 to 10, 10 to 20, or younger years, teenage years. When your children when our children are going to enter different seasons, there is a preparation we need to do. So I'm going to share some practical strategies and that God has helped me to learn over the years, and I'm still learning. I'm not there yet. Don't worry, team. I'm not going yet. I'm not moving yet. Every season, there's a preparation. Your child, for example, is going to be 10 next year. All you are doing is you are planning how you're going to throw the 10th year birthday, how you're going to do photo shoot. How are you preparing and seeking God? God, this next season of my child's life, what are the things that should be in place? What are the things? According to the template, remember, according to this vision, what is there? Even there are some things that maybe some things are not working well. You can go to God. You have a local standing that God, this is what you said about this child. But this and these are the things I'm facing. What am I not getting right? There's a scripture that says, that which I in Psalm, that which I see not teach me. You can go to God because you have a local standing of a template. God, this is what you said. What am I not getting right? You can say the school, because the vision will determine the school you put your child. Will determine even where you reside. You won't just wake up and say, okay, everybody's going to Canada now. Even if you're going to go to Canada, the environment that child is, it must align. So you will spend time to seek ahead. Your child is going to secondary school next year. You have not started seeking. You have not started seeking God. You have not started strategizing. You have not started putting templates in place. They now get it. You say they just joined bad friend. I don't know what happened after I've spent money. No. The morning they are going to school, you now carry anointing oil. You now pour, I bind. They're just doing gymnastics. You have 1 year advance notice. You have 2 years advance notice. It's not them. You know your 8-year-old will be 10 in 2 years' time. They're going to move to double-digit years. Your child is going to become a teenager in the next 2 years. You know the things that come with teenage years. You prepare for that season, because things can happen in that season that will mess up that vision. You now start asking yourself, where did my quiet boy go? My boy used to be this. I don't even know what happened. No, you didn't do the work. You didn't sit down as a watchman. You didn't set yourself to see what he will say to you that will inform the knowledge you need to gather, the strategy you need to put in place, the skills you need to put, the schedules you need to have. Your child is going to university. Let me tell you, parents, that your children are going to university. Has it ever occurred to you that entering into university is entering into a life transforming season? That's when they're going to get married, likely they're going to get married, leave school, start working. So that period is so critical. If you really think about it, for a lot of us, 15 to 30, which is the most critical period of our life, nothing intentional was done. We're just busy chasing your child to get first class. That's what you're chasing. Meanwhile, that period is mostly the destiny. A lot of decisions that will mark you or scar you for life is made in that period. Dear parents, how are you intentional about that season? Yeah, instead you are chasing the score, whatever in jam. Instead they are doing what do you call it? Cambridge. That school they have Cambridge curriculum. That school that's what you're chasing. So after the Cambridge curriculum and they get it, now what? How to parent with kingdom vision. You need to set yourself as a watchman. I'm not talking about fear-based. No, I'm talking about alignment with God on the vision and future He has for your child. And you are able to create strategies and make informed decisions. Prepare ahead. Holiday is coming. Your child cannot be in your house for 2 months holiday. And you don't set 1 week to seek. I'm not saying you don't have to go out. You can go out. We are praying, you're seeking God. This new term, this new session that is coming, you're setting the pace. You are getting instructions. See, prayer will yield instructions, will yield steps. That's how you know you're doing it right. There are steps, there are instructions, there are consecrations for your children. There are certain destinies that there are some certain consecrations. Samson had his consecrations, but he did not follow it. He disobeyed it. There are instructions, there are consecrations for that child's destiny. Others may. There are certain things that child could not do. There are certain people that cannot be their friends. There are certain places they cannot be based on the peculiarity of that vision and that destiny. Let's go, team. So set time apart every time. Have a structure. If it's once a week, if it's once a month, every holiday, seek ahead. Your child is going to be 10 next year. 1 year advance notice. How are you preparing? Some of us that are single, you are getting married next year. You now see on the wedding day, you know how we do it. You now hold ourselves, we are praying. Emergency prayer. You had 9 months, 1 year to prepare, to seek, to get a template, to get it right. What are some of the skills? Spiritual intelligence. Now we're talking about building skills for our children. I've talked about us. So if we don't get ourselves right, we will not be able to do some of these things correctly. Spiritual intelligence, social intelligence, emotional intelligence, critical thinking, problem solving. These are some of the skills that we need to equip our children with in order to help them prepare for the kingdom vision, the vision God has appointed for them, to help them not to live a life of survival, but of significance, of fulfillment, of alignment with the future God has ordained. I don't have time to unpack each of these things. This is what we do in Inner Circle. There are books, there are resources, there are teachings, coachings for all these things in Inner Circle. So just join the Inner Circle. Coach Wendy has books. Raising Independent Thinking Child, Raising a Socially Intelligent Child. All those things. The books are there. The trainings are there. Let's go next slide. What are the character development? Now we have people on social media now, they have following, they have money, no character. And yet people are now using them as templates. These are some of the people that our children are following as mentors because we have not intentionally even curated the environment. Some of us parents are following some of these people. So what else do you expect? Who is funding the responsibility most time? This is the parent. So discipline means decisions determined by your destiny. It needs to be taught. It needs to be modeled by you, and you need to intentionally teach it. Honor. We teach honor as a skill in Inner Circle. Teaching empathy. Teaching your children the importance of accountability. That's where mentorship comes in. Even you yourself, ask yourself as a parent, are you accountable yourself? Who are you accountable to? Are you disciplining yourself? The decisions you make on a daily basis or you have made thus far, have they been determined by your destiny? Remember, you cannot give what you don't have. Let's go, team. So how do you parent for kingdom vision? Build character, build skills. Parent with the future in mind. Don't be distracted by the cares of the moment. Focus on the things that will matter in years to come. Here, I wrote education over schooling here. Schooling is not education. I'm not talking about people that are saying school is scam. Oh, that's not what I'm talking about. Education is equipping for life. So in picking a school for your child, for example, because we're going to pick school for our children all through their life. If you want to homeschool, you can choose to homeschool. You understand? That's why homeschooling is really home education. It's not necessarily that you're trying to do school at home or you're trying to hide your children from school. No, it's taking control of the education of your children to equip them for life. So education really is equipping for life. You should don't be looking at aesthetics. So they have Cambridge curriculum, they have American curriculum, they have every child has a laptop, they have a screen in every class. How does that equip for tomorrow? Let me shock you. I was having a conversation with my husband, and I said, you know that it just occurred to me one day. I sat and I was thinking, That a lot of the things that we learned in school, we're not even using them for anything as adults. Has it ever occurred to you? Regardless of the country you reside, your race, the course you studied, your level or whatever you're doing now, whether you're an entrepreneur, you're a professional, the skills we all need to thrive in life as adults, the skills are largely the same. Has it ever occurred to you? So I now thought to myself, was it worth it that I was pressured? I was probably beaten for failing a course. I was probably shamed. I asked myself, was it worth it? So ask yourself, the pressures you are putting your children through in academics. I'm not saying it's not good for children to pass, but ask yourself, the pressure, is this going to be worth it in the next 20 years? All the geography that you did, ask yourself, what are you using it for? All the maths you did, the 4-figure table, the Venn diagram, I'm sure you can't even remember those things. What are you using them for? So was it worth it that you were traumatized because you couldn't get those things when you don't even need them? One of the things that saddens me most is I remember medical school. I had colleagues who had mental breakdown because they failed. Some of them till today, they didn't recover from that mental breakdown. They dropped out of medical school. And it occurred to me that for somebody to have had a life changing in a negative because they were failing course in 200 level, 300 level. And yet, most of us know that when you graduate is when the real experience starts. Most of the things that do not define your future now. So for their life to have been altered in the negative because of the pressure of not passing at that time, meanwhile, it is not significant in the scope of the future and destiny. It's not as significant. Was it worth it? So ask yourself as a parent, a lot of the things you're focusing on in the next 10 years. Some of you went to Kinnicon Grammar School. Some of us went to maybe Vivian Fowler, whatever. It doesn't matter now. Does it matter? It really doesn't matter what you're doing with your life. Coach Wendy did not study parenting coach in school now. She's a medical professional. She has all the masters. She has everything. But what she's doing with her life and destiny now has nothing to do with what she did in school. Remember, I'm not saying that. I'm not talking from the concept of school as scam. I'm talking with the concept of future in mind. So even when your children are not getting certain things right, your perspective on how you help them navigate those difficult seasons, it would matter a lot. The Greek that we did, I tell myself I did a Greek, yet I can't plant anything. I did geography, yet if you give me map, I can't read map. So I said, so what was the point? Of which I could still learn to read map without even doing geography. I can learn how to plant without having drawn a Greek. So meaning that when you parent with the future in mind, you focus on the skills that matter. There are certain subjects, yes, maybe good for them to, but if they are struggling with it, you don't need to put pressure. You don't need to traumatize and scar them, because eventually they will pass and everything, but the scar, remember, would remain. A lot of us are still struggling from scars. How we were maltreated, how we were beaten, how we were shamed. We are still struggling with those scars, even though you are grown up now and you are financially okay, but you can tell the scars and the trauma you are still needing to heal from. So let's not traumatize our children. Parenting according to the kingdom vision is not by traumatizing them to achieve that vision. No, it's about being intentional, being strategic, and having the right perspective. Let's go, team. Create the right home environment. Inner circle, Coach Wendy teaches us systems, structure, schedules, skills, strategies. It was talking about that watchman. A watchman is strategic. I didn't say a watchman just sit there and just praying. Even when you're praying, you're not just praying to just let it be done. No, you are praying to seek. You pray to seek. You pray to get strategies. You pray to get the right alignment with the right tools, with the right resources. You pray to reevaluate your system. You pray to learn how to create the systems that you need, or how to be connected to the right tools and resources. I don't have time to unpack this home environment, but you need to create a functional home environment. I say it all the time. Your children are not secondary citizens in your house. So your house is not a hotel. Your house is not a recreational center. So your house must support the development of and growth of your children. Your house must be aligned to help your child fulfill their kingdom vision or the future that God has in mind for them. So that starts with even the physical location, where you reside currently, the country or the location. What informs that decision? Some of you say, land is cheap in one place, that's why you are there. Or my auntie somewhere is staying there. Or mommy Texas live in Texas, so when I go to America, it's Texas I will stay. Or mommy London is the one's inspiring what you're doing. No, the destiny of your child, the vision that God has, that will help them to live a life of significance, not survival. If we're honest with ourselves, a lot of us are in survival mode. God is helping us. Me, I've been on my own journey too. But if I had someone to teach me some of this, or if my parents had some of this knowledge, my starting point would be different. A lot of us know how we started. We were trophy children. We had so much discipline, but there was no proper structure. There was no proper equipping for the people that were the strong man that were supposed to shoot us as arrows. The home environment was not created to support the vision that we carried, the destiny that we carried. And some of us are in that place. You are not as equipped and fit to shepherd that destiny. And you know it. We'll get into that. So your home environment, the structure of the home, what are the tools and the resources that should be there? How enriching should it be? Books. Can you have a house? You have 3 guest rooms. You don't have a library. That's false. You have 3 children, yet your children are sharing one room. Yes, your husband's sister is staying in one room. Your cousin is staying in another room. Another person is staying in another room. You now have 2 big sitting rooms. One, you close it only when the day president will come into your house. That day you open that sitting room. You have this bar, you have all the chandelier, and you have all the glasses. Those things don't matter. Ask yourself, when you think about growing up, what matters to you? Is it the chandelier you had? Is it the flower vase you had? No, it's the memories and experiences that were built in that home. The atmosphere that is built in that home. So can your child achieve the future and the vision if the environment that they are being raised? Now remember, you are the first environment of your child. Let me say that. You are the first environment of your child. So you must get it right. Even the words you speak, the words you can't have somebody in your house using wrong words. You can't be talking to your children, cursing at them. You and your spouse, you are cursing and bickering. You are creating toxic environment. And that now shepherd the destiny to achieve a kingdom vision? No. And that help a child to achieve a life of significance? No. You're going to realign negatively. You're going to divert away from the kingdom. So the environment must support. You can't be raising an apostle, a Paul in your house, maybe a Timothy or an apostle in your house. You can't be raising a world changer, someone that's going to be a king, that will need to learn emotional intelligence, that will need to learn leadership, that will need to learn how to lead people. And that person is raised in a toxic environment. That's why you see some leaders, they are leaders, they have good leadership skills, but you can see that they've not learned empathy. They're temperamental. They can't come because they were raised in a toxic environment. There was no intentionality. So the atmosphere in your home, both physically and non-physical, very important. Let's go. I can't unpack it so much, but I believe we'll get it. Empower your children to influence. So you encourage leadership, mentorship, accountability. Then teach them to be culturally intelligent. There's something we call cultural intelligence plan in the inner circle. I don't have time to unpack it, being culturally intelligent. So that's why you find most of us who are maybe now in diaspora or live, even it's not necessarily diaspora, living in another environment, but most times you don't know how to interact. You don't know your children don't know how to navigate. So if you're not intentional, really, it can happen. I remember when I moved to Australia, and one of the things that Inner Circle did for me, there's a course we do, creating a social roadmap for your Gen Z. Oh my God, Coach, you know that's my favorite course of Inner Circle of all time because it changed my perspective. That was the course that, let me say, started my intentional parenting journey, even though I'd been in the yard then, because it showed me how I was replicating my childhood. It showed me that I was not being culturally intelligent. You travel into diaspora, you don't know how to interact. I'm not saying that just to interact, to feel among, because see, you cannot dominate a kingdom that you don't understand. So if you don't understand the system, you don't know how to navigate cultures, how do you want to influence the system? Even if what they are doing is wrong, how do you influence the system? How do you, when I mean dominate, not to lord over them, no, but to rule as a kingdom champion? How can you do that in an environment if you don't have cultural intelligence? I don't have time to unpack. There's a lot about cultural intelligence. We do it in Inner Circle. It just means that how to be able to understand and how to navigate in different cultures and settings. Culture, remember, is not just another country. There's even culture within culture. If you go to a religious setting, there's a culture there. There are different families, there's a culture. That's why some women will struggle maritally because they don't understand cultural intelligence, even though they are of the same tribe. But there's a culture in that environment that you need to understand. So there are a lot of skills to it, but there's no time to unpack it. But for a child that you're parenting with kingdom vision, Kingdom vision is not a local vision, it's a global vision. Legacy is not local, it's global. And let me say something. When it comes to value, when it comes to impact, it's a universal currency. Value is a universal currency. Impact is a universal currency. So if you carry it, if you carry impact, you carry impact. You can transform lives in any country, in any nation. If you have cultural intelligence, you can navigate any environment that you find yourself in. Let's go, team. I know I have a little more, a little time left. The parenting advantage. We've talked about parenting is about you. You cannot give what you don't have. You cannot pour from an empty vessel. So you need to get it right. We as parents, including me, we need to get it right. How do you do that? You need to revisit your past. You need to revisit your childhood. Because some of us are just replicating negative patterns. Some of us are just navigating because we were not trained. We were not equipped. So even though you may have all the desire and the wish, but the equipment, the skills to help our children, you may not have it because you were not given. That's why you need to get knowledge. You need to be in the right environment. That's where the inner circle comes in. Inner circle is a training ground for most of us, myself inclusive, to train us, to equip you how to navigate. What does it mean to be a parenting advantage? What does it mean to be an advantage as a parent? Parenting advantage has to do with what do I need to become an advantage to my child? And for me to become, that becoming process takes a lot of things. Healing from my past, getting knowledge, equipping myself, and becoming that parent that is equipped to shepherd that destiny, to help my child to achieve that kingdom vision that God has ordained. There's an equipping that I must have. I'm a mighty man shooting an arrow. There's a strength I need to shoot each arrow to be on target for their destiny. So ask yourself, are you fit to shepherd the destiny God has entrusted into your hands? Let's go, team. Ask yourself. And you must be sincere. The truth is that some of us know that we have made mistakes. We have not journeyed well. It's not a time to judge us. Some of us, you may need to even be honest with yourself that I don't think I'm equipped enough. I'm still healing. That's where coaches and mentors come in. That's what happened to Hannah. When Hannah had Samuel, I knew that she was not equipped to be able to shepherd this destiny that God had given her. For Samuel to become a prophet, she didn't have the equipping. So what did she do? If you don't know where to do, my father-in-law will say something. My father-in-law, Reverend Olushola, will say, if you don't know what to do, you must know where to go. If you don't know what to do, you must know where to go. So if you don't have the equipment, so what did Hannah do? Hannah took Samuel to Prophet Eli. Because she knew that she was honest. This child has a glorious destiny. There's a vision that God has for this child. But right now, I'm not equipped. But this place is the right equipment. I'm not saying you can dump your child for someone. Just get the concept. That's where inner circle now comes in. Or that's where things like Girls Up with Auntie Team are coaching platforms of our children. Okochebuga coaches boys. And you now bring yourself to inner circle to be coached. You now carry yourself to couples conclave to help you with your marital coaching and issues. While you are growing and become, because your children can't wait. Our children cannot wait for us to grow and heal and all those things. So while we are growing and on our journey, we now entrust them to coaches who are going to be helping them because they have experience and they are not just, they are graced and anointed to do that. And they will have the same vision as you have. Model kingdom living. So are you walking in kingdom vision yourself? Are you the right example to your children? Are you living a life of survival or significance yourself? Let's ask ourselves. If you want to parent a child to live a life of significance, not survival, let's ask ourselves. Let's go, team. And that's why I said that we need to be honest with ourselves. Some of us have not journeyed well. It could be because of our background. It could be because we didn't have anyone to help us. We have made mistakes that some of us, if you are honest with yourself, you know that who God told you were going to be, or who you knew, the dreams you had, you know that your life is completely even off it. Be honest with yourself. And it's not a call to judgment. So ask yourself, are you in survival mode yourself? Who have you become? Who are you becoming? You have journeyed, you are 35 years. You have been in one industry for 20. Who have you become? Or who are you becoming? How have you journeyed so far? Ask yourself, how have I journeyed so far? In my purpose, in my marriage, don't be boasting, I've married for 15 years. What is the outcome of that your 15 years? Can you mentor somebody that is coming on the right side with the right substance? And that's some of the things when we're growing up, people just be counting years. They married for 25 years. The real substance of marriage, they can't teach us. They can't teach us effective communication. They can't teach us how to build our plan. Look at this book. If you don't have it, go and get it. Building Your Marriage Plan by the governor. When I read this book, I just knew that some of the struggles you have after 10 years or 5 years of marriage, some of them, you don't need to have them. It's lack of knowledge and nobody to put us aright. So how have you journeyed so far? Your marriage, your career. Most of us, let's be honest, we're in survival mode. And I'm not talking about you're now on the peak of your career. You now have 3 PhDs. You know in yourself, no fulfillment. Are you aligned with purpose? Are you building legacy? Let's go, team. Ask yourself. So it's time to arise and to parents. It's time for us as parents to arise. Your parenting journey is a calling. It's not a burden. So that's why even when our children will have challenges, yes, our children will have challenges. But you see that vision, you can go to God and say, God, this is what you said. It's not aligning. Where am I not getting it? It will help your perspective. It's not a burden. Yes, it is not like coach will say it's not suffering. There's sacrifice on the journey, not suffering. So if you find that I'm suffering and there's something you're not getting right. What kind of legacy am I building? Ask yourself. Am I parenting for now? Or am I parenting for the future? What needs to shift in my home and even in your life, even in your career? Some of us know the decisions we have made. The career you are doing, you know it's not favoring the destiny that you are raising. You're just arguing, but this person is doing it. Everybody know where shoe is pinching. If your shoe is pinching, you remove the shoe and change the shoe. All those social media, everybody know how they are doing it. How are they doing it? Everybody know how we do what works for you. You can't do what works for you. They are my children. I can do anything. They are not your children. They are God's children. And He has entrusted those children in our care. We can't just do what we like. We must do according to that vision that He has appointed. That's why He has appointed us watchmen. So don't come and say, everybody know where that shoe is pinching. Remove your shoe, it's pinching you. I'm going to change your shoe. I'm sorry if this hits you. Here we tell you the truth. I've had to hear a lot of truths. Coach Wendy tells me truth. I may not like it sometimes, but it's the truth. We have to be jealous over the future of our children. We have to break the cycle from living from survival to significance and to fulfillment. Ask yourself, write 3 words you want to define your child's life at 25. Of course, 25 is just a figure. I'm just saying that if you have a 3-year-old, picture your child as an adult, a 35-year-old, a 25-year-old. Who do you want to see? See, Coach Wendy has this book. It's called Parenting Launch Plan. This is my favorite. I like Connect to Correct, but for me, this is my favorite book. This one and the Marriage and Dating Plan. That one, the hard copy, I think is going to be out soon. I don't have it yet. But those 2 books, the Marriage and Dating, I think it's for Inner Circle members. I don't know if Coach Wendy will be gracious to allow other people have it. It's an exclusive for Inner Circle. But those 2 books, they are like templates that will help you draft some of these things that I'm talking about and the plan of that journey. Help you to align vision God has given you and the practical strategies to break it down. So ask yourself, your child as a 25-year-old, 35-year-old, who do you want to see? Some of our children are already nearing that. We're not even seeing anything close to what we desire. But remember, it's not about wishing or desire. It's about the equipment. It's about the strategies and how to journey to help them. And if you have like a 35-year-old, think of yourself. When even you yourself, what legacy do you want to leave behind? When you're 60, ask yourself, are you in survival? Are you in significance? Because you cannot give what you don't have. How can we ourselves as parents begin to realign our journey back to significance, back to a life of fulfillment, not survival, not keeping up with the Joneses, not doing what everybody is doing because everybody is doing, everybody is saying, we are just doing everything. That's what is popular. That is what is reigning. No, let's arise and awake. It's a call to awake. It's a call to redirect back to basics. And for our children, when you think about what legacy do you want your own child to leave behind? What do you want your child to think about? My mom was a mom that understood the vision of God for me and handed me a template that I'm running with and I'm aligning with kingdom vision. Next slide. Next slide, team. I think I'm rounding off now. A word of encouragement. If all these things is hitting you anyhow, it looks like this, don't be discouraged. Start from where you are. Even if your children are 25, they are 21. We have old people that have older children. We have grandparents in the inner circle. Who some of them, their children are already married, but they are not giving up. Start from where you are. You can't change the past, but you can begin to take the right steps to a better future from today. So get knowledge, get trained. Parenting is not about perfection. Parenting is about training. It doesn't require perfection. It's about training. Raising a child with kingdom vision is not about perfection, but it's about understanding how to align with the one who gives the vision himself, so that we help our children to fulfill the future God ordained for them, which is the future of significance, not survival. Next slide. In conclusion, parenting is a divine assignment. We are not just raising sons and daughters, we are raising arrows and answers to the problems of the world. It's time to move beyond just the surviving the days, to start parenting with the future in mind. So stop chasing shadows. Stop chasing mini short photo shoot. Stop putting yourself under pressure. Everybody's children are going to this school standard of education. Can you break down what that standard of education is to me? In the next 10, 20 years, what you're calling a standard of education, ask yourself, is it going to matter? So is it going to be worth it? I'm not saying some things are not good, but plus 5 minus 50, is it a plus or a minus? There's always something to sacrifice, as the governor will say. So ask yourself, are my children the ones on the altar being sacrificed for whatever I'm chasing? Are you chasing career? I know my mates have left you. Left you where? Where have they gone? Ask yourself, in the next 10, 20 years, I was having a conversation with my dad, and my dad is a doctor, and he practices in Nigeria. Some of his colleagues are practicing in the US, and now they're all old. They tend to get together sometimes in the US, sometimes in Nigeria. And he was saying that when I meet my peers, like life is a level. Like there's no that somebody left you somewhere. So what looked like somebody left me 20 years ago. Even ask yourself, when you graduated in school, the best students in your class, your senior, your junior, where are most of them today? On the plane of life where we are all playing now, are they the most achieving or the ones building the greatest legacy? Ask yourself. So stop chasing shadows. Focus on what will matter. Get what the kingdom vision is for each child, the future God has ordained. Go back to basics. God is not calling us to be perfect. He's calling us to arise. When we parent with kingdom vision, our children don't just grow up like we just raise children as if we're raising animals. They rise up as kings who impact, influence, and inherit both on earth and both in eternity. Because remember, it's not just about earth. Eternity, legacy, things that would matter even when we are gone. Our names and our impact is on the sands of time. Those are the children and the seeds we are raising. I believe that God will help all of us, including myself. I'm also a parent on a journey, and God will help us raise children of impact, influence, and that we inherit both on earth and both in eternity. Thank you very much. Thank you, Coach Wendy, once again. I do not take this for granted. I celebrate you, ma. I honor you. I love you. You know that, Coach. Thank you.
Whoa, that was mind-blowing. I couldn't have expected anything less from my awesome Coach Omolola. Woo! That was an amazing session. That was an amazing session. Thank you so much, Coach. Thank you. What do you think about the session?
If you're taking questions, I don't know.
Thank you so much, Coach Lola. We appreciate the value given. Such a deep revelation and insight. Amazing participants. What do you say to Coach Omolola for this insight? Yes, let me hear.
So we can take questions. Okay.
Let's see the fire emoji. And if you have your questions, please drop them in the comment section. Drop them. And don't forget, the inner circle is the arc that you should be in. You know, in the inner circle, we receive this basbos, as we call it, differently. We receive it differently with our yellow blankets. Thank you so much, Coach. Thank you. So if there are questions, I learned a lot. And, you know, one of the things Coach said that also Pastor Isaac talked about is about you not parenting in the now, but parenting in the future. You know, a lot of times we are just seeing our children like the present. Oh, they are just children. But we forget that they are adults. They are adults that are growing up. You understand? Yes. So it is something that we do in the inner circle. One of the things she also talked about was establish a family value system. And she got it from Habakkuk 2, chapter 2, verse 2 to 3. You know, a lot of times we just parent under assumption. Do what works for you. Exactly. That's what we usually do. But here in the inner circle, the first thing you do when you come into the inner circle, you are going to write your family values. You're going to write your family mission, your family vision. You're going to state your
guide. I printed out this is my guide.
There's no anyhowness in the inner circle. So book your slots. I think the next 24 hours, there is a discount. Don't forget that. Just book your slot. Singles, 10,000 naira. Couples, 20,000 naira. And you're in. You can now start playing it instrumentally before the 1st of December.
So get your parenting launch plan. Get your building your marriage plan. Just go get all these books. If you're not in the yard, I don't know where you are.
Why now? Only the others get it. Only others get it.
Okay.
So we have a
How do
question.
you start now? If you've not started as you should earlier, and now your child is 25, that's what I'm saying. You need to first of all start to get knowledge. Number one, you need to get knowledge. Number two, there are a lot of things. That's why I won't, sir, just join in a circle, and I will tell you why. There are a lot of things I can unpack here. To get things right, number one, you need to revisit your childhood. Because remember that this significance is not just about your child. We also should live a life of significance. And it's not too late. I've seen people who started at maybe 50, 70, even the man with KFC, I heard I started maybe at 58 or something. So you need to first of all be in the right environment. You need to get knowledge. You understand? So when you join the inner circle begins to expose your blind spots, your errors. So I don't know your story. I don't know your journey. There are some things that will be pointers to why you are where you are. And regarding your children, there may not be so much you can do, but when your children begin to see changes in you, even as an adult and maybe as a grandpa, there are some things they will still be able to learn. It just may be more difficult because remember, they are already formed in their ways. There are some mistakes, of course, we can't correct. There are some scars where we cannot take away. But if your child is 25, they still have a lot ahead of them. If you get knowledge, you're not going to force that knowledge on you. On them. That's what I'm telling you about inner circle. There are strategies you will learn how to reach out to older children. It starts with you. For example, the way you talk to your children before, the way you handle certain issues, and now your children see how you handle issues. They see that you have wisdom. Coach Wendy will say something about wisdom. When your children come to you, when they see that you have certain wisdom, they will be able to come to you to seek your wisdom, even in the journey of their lives. So it's not something I can just give a broad statement, but you need to get knowledge, be in the right circle, and begin to change. A lot of things will change when knowledge comes. When light comes, darkness is dispelled. You begin to orientate yourself, how you navigate certain things, decision making. And I don't know how old you are, you can still start your journey from where you are. In inner circle, I always teach in seasons of life, like now you are retired, you have been in an industry for 20 years. You can give back to that industry. At 65, you can still write, you can still journal, you can still do a blog. You still have something to give your world because you have been on a journey. So both the experiences that you had and who you have become along the years we can help you in inner circle to be able to know how to be able to transfer that and begin to even build a legacy and impact those that are coming. So it's not a one size fits all. It's more challenging, but it's not impossible. You can still impact and change the journey of your children from where you are. What can you do when family members, partners doesn't understand that you are trying to create the environment for your royalty? Yes, that's where inner circle comes in. See, some of these things, sometimes without knowledge, we want to. Coach Wendy calls, what does she call it? That when you have knowledge, that you want to force it on people. I can't remember. She has one thing that she says it that you now know what you're trying to speak. Exactly. There are strategies to some of these things, and those are some of the things you will learn in inner circle. And sometimes you need patience. Gold is here now. We have been in inner circle for like 6 or 7 years. Some of the things that we have, they did not come like that. Some of us, our spouses have joined us. It took years. So sometimes you need patience, on this journey. And you also you need to know how to put the message. Especially, I'm sure it's a woman that said that put that question there. Sometimes there's a wisdom as a woman. You need to know how to pass a message across to your spouse. Women, we have this messiahness. I've learned this thing. I'm the one that know it. And I'm not trying to do the man. See, in inner circle, we teach you strategies or even how to position yourself and position your husband, even in environments where you won't even be the one doing the change. There are strategies or environment that you have created that your husband may not need to learn from you. Women, let me say that thing. What you need is the finished product. Sometimes you may need to connect your husband to the right mentors, to the right people who are going to be the one to influence the change that you want because they are speaking your message. Some husbands may not even listen to Coach Wendy, but we have people like Coach Kunle there. We have people like Coach Ebuka there. We have other men like that, Pastor Isiri. We have so many other people like that. And there are programs and systems that are created that these men can begin to see. And when they accept the message from those people, it now becomes easy to accept the message. But also, there's a change you also need as a woman. And you will learn all those things in inner circle. There's no one size fits all. Inner circle will diagnose your situation and will give you the tools that are peculiar to your unique situation, and you begin to navigate. It's a journey. So I've been in inner circle for 6 years now. Gold, myself and Gold, we've been here for like 6 years, and we're going again next year, year 7. So it has not. Do we still have challenges? Yes. Are we still working a road? Yes. Because remember, I've lived my life for how many years? My husband has lived his life for how many years? You can't expect a change in 1 year or 2 years. Your husband had his own trauma. How's how he was raised? You have how you were raised. There's a lot. It's not a circle payment. It's a yearly payment. So when you pay inner circle, is 1 year. This next year you pay again. So it's an academy that someone asked a question before. I'm a year, I'm over 60. It's never too late to join. See, we have someone who is over 60. We have grandparents, they put are over 70 in the yard. We do. We have over 70 in the yard, and they are beginning to change themselves. They are helping their grandchildren. Their own children are even seeing the change in them, who they are becoming, the wisdom that is coming to them, and their children are seeking them for that wisdom. So I think there was a question before that. How do I start? No kids yet. Go and do Thanksgiving if you don't have kids. If you are not even married, you can join in as a single. We have single people. Go and be doing Thanksgiving. Just come. Just join. Just go and register if you're a single person. Or you don't have children yet. I'm telling you, you will be glad. Like, what age is appropriate for a child to start school, no matter how bright it is? See, let me tell you, people don't like to hear school age is 6 years. Yes, people don't like to hear it. See, the concept of creche, daycare, nursery, they all came with the advent of working class. It's not. That's why you hear our parents in their own time, they'll say when a child's hand reach this and it's 6, it goes to school. That's why year 1, basic 1, that is school. Anything under year 1, preschool, nursery, it's not really school. And I'll explain why. Although, am I saying, oh, you have to work? Here we teach truth. We are the ones that will now align our lives as much as we can to that truth. But that's what we teach here. So it's not a judgment call and say, hey, we that are now working, your life is better. I have also made some of those mistakes before I had knowledge. But now I'm not making those mistakes anymore. My parenting journey, I'm putting my toddler or whatever in one nursery. So it's 6 years. So anything beyond, because let me explain why. And even if you now have to make a decision, your child can go to play group once a week, or you have to put your child somewhere. You have to understand, what should my child be learning in this season, that age, 1, 2, what should they be learning? So whatever school or daycare or nursery I'm putting my child, are they equipped to be giving my child what they need to learn? So let me give you an example. A child learning 1, 2, 3 at 1, 2, it's not really a priority. When I mean 1, 2, 3, now like rote learning, 1, 2, they can learn it through play. They can learn it through toys. They can learn counting through manipulatives and things. I mean, as part of activity, not sitting down and be chanting. No, also play. So a play-based learning is what a child should be doing. And some of us parents will get upset. Your children are playing with sand, they're playing with water, they're getting upset. That's what they should be doing. Those things are building skills. They're preparing them. When they now get to that season that they need those skills to write, to do all those things, it becomes easy. Let me give you a practical example. And I don't know how many of us know mud play. Children play mud play, and they pretend that they are cooking. They take all your pots and spoons, they pour sand, they pour water, they are stirring. Do you know that building cooking skills? What are the skills you need when you want to cook? You pour, you stir, you roll, you knead. So when a child is using sand to pour, to stir, to knead, to roll, they are building those skills. When they now get to the age when you want to get to the kitchen, they've built how to roll because they have the rolling toys. But some of us can't tolerate the mess. So painting, tearing paper. So don't be upset. They're tearing paper. They're exploring their world. So younger children should be playing, exploring their world, building social, emotional regulation. Finally, let me say the concept of attachment. Children build attachment. The attachment theory, I don't have time to unpack, but build social and emotional regulation skills in the first few years of life, 0 to 3, 0 to 5. Those skills, they may not even need it then. They need it when they are teenagers and older. That's why you see older people sometimes struggle with emotional regulation, commitment to relationship, empathy. They didn't build emotional regulation. When you drop a child in school from 8 o'clock to 5 o'clock, it's neglect. If you don't know, it's neglect. So ask yourself, who is parenting your child? I'm not judging, but see, we need to think and reflect. Monday to Friday, your child is in school, they're going to work 6 o'clock or 8 o'clock to 5. Ask yourself, who is parenting your child? Who is impacting skills and knowledge? So you now see your child exhibit certain things, you are surprised. The larger part of the child's life, the child is being parented by somebody else. So that person's value or whatever, you say it is school. What value is school giving? It can't be outsourced. The programming that you want, you are not there. You can't parent without presence. And you cannot rewind when time is gone. So you can't say, let me go and hustle. When they are 10, they will join me. You have lost. You can't rewind and parent. The foundational years, if you have to make sacrifice between 0 to 10, 0 to 13, is better. You can now catch up later. Unfortunately, that's what we teach in NASEC. Most of us didn't start our lives planning effectively. You just say, what a man can do, a woman can do. As a woman, I can be an astronaut, I can be a neurosurgeon, I can do whatever. Like, it's not true. When you have 4 children and you now want to go to space, where will you keep your 4 children? And God, yeah, now she had three wonderful boys, triplets. So will she say she's going to space now to go and do NASA? Why is she going to keep those wonderful boys? Even if she had that dream as a child, she has to change what that dream. So some of us, it's not like you are going to lose your dream. The expression of what it looks like may need to change. Finally, let me say this. The sacrifices you are going to make on your parenting journey is not dependent on you. It's dependent on your children, the seasons of life, the challenges and the peculiarity. So sometimes the dynamics of what your journey will look like or the expression of your vision may need to change because of the season of life and the circumstances that surround. I hope it's going to help.